At 76 years old, legendary singer Elton John has cemented his place in music history. But even icons aren't immune to the physical tolls of aging. Elton was recently hospitalized overnight after a concerning fall at his Nice, France villa. This latest health incident for the Rocket Man performer sparked fears that his frail appearance in wheelchairs recently signaled declining wellness. But Elton maintains he's in good health, despite some expected mobility issues at his age. Join Facts First as we examine Elton's latest hospital visit and track record of overcoming daunting health challenges. Recent fall and hospitalization. On August 28, 2023, music legend Elton John was taken to Princess Grace Hospital in Monaco after falling at his home in Nice, France. When the accident occurred, the singer had been enjoying the summer, vacationing along the French Riviera with his husband David Furnish and their 2 sons. Sources say Elton suffered a small domestic accident at his lavish seaside villa in the exclusive Montboron neighborhood. While the nature of the accident and extent of any injuries were not disclosed, the fall was apparently serious enough to warrant a hospital visit. At 76, any fall can be extremely dangerous and likely prompted the trip as a precautionary measure. Elton was admitted to the orthopedic department of Princess Grace Hospital, which specializes in musculoskeletal injuries and conditions. Thankfully, he was discharged the next morning after undergoing examinations and tests. Elton's representative confirmed that the music icon is now back at home and in good health following the incident. This comes as welcomed news to fans who've been concerned after seeing Elton face serious health complications over the past few years. The sight of the typically energetic showman appearing frail sparked fears that his health was deteriorating. But Elton maintains that overall his health is good, and he still has the stamina to continue his lengthy Farewell Yellow Brick Road tour. The tour is meant to be his last after 50 years on the road. He plans to retire from touring to spend more time with his family. Yet in his mid-70s, he's still performing 2.5-hour high-energy marathon shows packed with smash hits. His passion for playing live and entertaining fans remains strong. In fact, just a day before his fall, Elton was spotted out enjoying Nice's nightlife. Photographers captured him having dinner with friends at a beachfront restaurant, looking happy and healthy while walking without assistance. This active lifestyle and determination to keep pushing forward despite injuries and illness has endeared Elton to generations of fans. While his recent hospital visit raises some concern, it seems to have been a minor incident. Knowing Elton's dedication to honoring his tour commitments, it would likely take a lot more than a small domestic accident and overnight hospital stay to slow him down. His plans for upcoming tour dates appear on track to go smoothly. Given his age and health history, though, Elton's team will surely take every precaution to ensure his well-being and safety. Hip injury and postponed tour. While Elton downplayed his overnight hospitalization as a precautionary measure, his history of hip troubles and infections shows that the concerns of fans are well-rounded. In September of 2021, Elton announced the difficult decision to postpone his remaining tour dates in Europe and the UK until 2023. The move came after he sustained a hip injury that progressively worsened following an awkward fall during his summer break that year. Elton explained that after taking time off touring in the summer, he fell and hurt his hip while at home. At first, the pain and stiffness seemed manageable, but it continued increasing in severity with each passing week. Before long, the injury made everyday activities extremely challenging for the singer. By September, his hip pain had grown so debilitating he could no longer get in and out of vehicles easily. Even simple acts like moving sideways had become nearly impossible for him. Imaging tests revealed significant damage that would require surgery and extensive rehabilitation. Elton's physician team advised that undergoing hip surgery prior to touring would give him the greatest chance of making a full recovery. They wanted to ensure he'd be able to withstand the demanding schedule and physical rigors involved in a lengthy global tour. Despite intensive physiotherapy sessions and treatments like steroid injections to reduce inflammation, Elton's mobility kept declining. He was still experiencing consistent pain and stiffness in the affected hip joint. It was apparent that conventional conservative therapies alone wouldn't properly resolve the worsening issue. Reluctantly, he made the tough call in late September 2021 to postpone his Farewell Yellow Brick Road tour for a second time due to medical reasons. He recognized that pushing forward with the damaged hip would be unwise at his age. The intense travel and back-to-back shows could potentially cause greater harm and permanent disability if he wasn't careful. Rescheduling was a major disappointment for Elton, who dearly missed interacting with fans during the pandemic, but he refused to cut corners where his health was concerned. He committed to undergoing hip replacement surgery as soon as possible and focusing fully on recovery. Elton made it clear that the tour itself was not canceled, but merely postponed. He had every intention of returning better than ever once rehabilitated and 100% fit. After the surgery and physical therapy, the newly rescheduled farewell tour dates started in January 2022 in New Orleans. True to form, Elton came back strong and upheld his pledge to fans that he'd deliver more than their money's worth. He even extended the tour into 2023 to add dozens more shows, proving his hip injury was only a temporary setback. Prostate cancer battle. In 2017, he was unexpectedly rushed home to the UK from a South American tour after becoming alarmingly ill. He had been experiencing severe symptoms like pain and gastrointestinal distress while traveling in Chile and Brazil, but pushed through multiple tour dates, assuming it was a bout of food poisoning or the flu. But upon returning to London, tests revealed an ominous cause: prostate cancer. Doctors discovered a large malignant tumor in Elton's prostate that required urgent surgical removal. The cancer diagnosis came as a shock since the singer had no notable risk factors. But prostate cancer can develop in any male at any age. He underwent the surgery swiftly, performed by a top specialist at a leading London hospital. They successfully extracted the tumor, and doctors felt optimistic they had caught the cancer in time. But in the days following the operation, Elton developed a serious infection, likely from a treatment-resistant bacteria. His condition deteriorated rapidly, spiking fevers and requiring potent IV antibiotics. Despite intensive care, he continued to decline. His doctors said he was just 24 hours from death at one point. His distraught husband David was ominously warned to prepare for the worst as Elton's life hung in the balance. The grieving family gathered at his bedside, fearing they might lose him at any moment. But miraculously, the heavy doses of intravenous antibiotics managed to overcome the infection in the nick of time. After surviving the harrowing ordeal, Elton found he could barely walk initially and needed to use a wheelchair. He essentially had to learn to walk again through extensive physiotherapy. After staring death in the face, simple joys like spending time with family felt far more precious. The health scare forced him to slow down and reevaluate priorities. Though his cancer and brush with death shook Elton profoundly, he emerged wiser and more grateful. By courageously sharing his vulnerability, he forged an even stronger bond with fans. Now it's time to hear from you. Did you know about Elton John's health issues in the last few years? Let us know in the comments section below.